Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our second installment of the LSO annual road trip, where we visit communities across Ontario to discuss what's happening in the life sciences sector in your own backyards. This is also Global Biotech Week. You can visit Biotech Canada's website under the About tab to learn more about other events happening throughout this week. We'd also remind you to please visit our virtual exhibitors booth on the FeedLoop platform. We're actually giving away a $250 gift card, and we're doing a draw at the end of the week. And to enter that draw, all you have to do is request information from an exhibitor. And for every request that you make from an exhibitor, you will get entered into that draw. The winner will be notified by email once that draw takes place. There's also virtual networking after this session. So if you go to the networking tab under groups, you'll be entered into a video networking group and you can meet other participants in this session. Now, while our virtual session is in Niagara, as you can see my beautiful virtual background behind me, my physical state is actually in the city of Mississauga, in my home. And that is part of the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit. In particular, we acknowledge the territory of the Anishinaabeg, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Ojibwe Chippewa peoples, the land that is home to the Métis, and most recently, the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit, First Nation, who are direct descendants of the Mississaugas of the Credit. I'd also like to note that Thursday is the first ever National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, so I would encourage you all to take some time to acknowledge Canada's Indigenous cultures and our shared histories, good and bad, in order to chart a path for a better future together in our beautiful land. This is our second stop on our road trip, and we are in beautiful Niagara, Ontario, and joining us today is Ian Potter, President and CEO of Vineland Research Innovation Center, Eric Chu, Manager, Trade and Investment, Niagara Economic Development, Niagara Region, Michael Potler, Head of Genomics Services, Platform Genomics, and Paul Moyer is co-founder of CleanWorks. And to start things off, I'm going to hand it over to Eric. Eric, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Jason. Appreciate that introduction. Thanks everyone for joining us, Ian, Mike, and Paul, for talking about Niagara with me. So good morning, my name is Eric Chow, and I'm the Manager of Trade and Investment for the Niagara Region Economic Development Team. Now, we all know that Niagara is predominantly known as the home of the falls, but our signature natural landscapes and outstanding recreational amenities aren't just for entertaining tourists. We invite you to the region to discover our world-class wineries, restaurants, scenery, and breathtaking hiking trails, and even taking a show at the Shaw Festival. Any one of these unique experiences will make your time in Niagara feel like an extended weekend. The Niagara region has a talented and educated workforce that has chosen to escape the hustle and bustle of the big city, choosing a better work-life balance and taking advantage of the quality of life in Niagara. More and more families are able to make home ownership a reality in Niagara Falls, or in Niagara, even though we've seen a slight increase in pricing in the past 18 months due to COVID-19. The cost of living is quite affordable compared to major metropolitan areas. Niagara itself has high-performing schools, English and French language schools, and highly regarded independent schools, which are families, which offer families with school-age children the opportunity to find a perfect fit for their children's learning style and needs. After graduation from high school, Niagara College and Brock University offer access to some world-class post-secondary education that's close to home. While Niagara is one of North America's most popular tourist destinations with over 14 million visitors per year, it is also home to almost 500,000 residents. A growing number of businesses and individuals are deciding to make their journey here a one-way trip. The Niagara region is made up of 12 unique local area municipalities with diverse and thriving economies, as well as quaint communities and neighborhoods. With easy access to both the Greater Toronto Area and the United States border, Niagara is located within 800 kilometers of 130 million people, including key markets like New York City, Boston, and Chicago. Niagara's businesses are all within a day's truck drive to your buyers and suppliers located within 2 provinces and 9 states with a GDP worth $5.56 trillion. We have a highly skilled and educated workforce and an open for business attitude at all levels of government. Right now, the case for doing business in Niagara has never been better. The trade that flows across Niagara borders totals well over $100 billion and supports hundreds of jobs across Canada and the United States. The network of infrastructure that supports this, that's developed in the Niagara region, includes 5 international bridges, multiple railways, pipelines, and the Great Lakes St. Lawrence Seaway, which connects Niagara to the Atlantic Ocean and the rest of the world. Niagara's high-quality binational land-based transportation routes, highways, waterways, and air freight facilities offer companies important advantages that operate according to just-in-time shipping principles. As one of Canada's designated foreign trade zone points, Niagara businesses receive personalized support to access federal, provincial, and regional programs for importing and exporting goods, allowing your business to succeed well beyond our regional boundaries. For businesses looking to relocate and settle in the region, we have a suite of incentives offered by the municipalities. Industrial Development Charge Grants, which offsets up to 100% of the Niagara region's industrial development charges, or our Gateway Community Improvement Plan, which offsets anywhere between 40 to 100% of your increased property tax assessment values as a result of your new construction. We have significant experience in leveraging federal incentives like the Scientific Research and Experimental Development Tax Incentive, also known as SHRED credits, and the Industrial Research Assistance Program, IRAP, to offset select R&D expenses and help connect private industry with our academic infrastructure. As the world of work changes to adapt to new technologies, Niagara's 2 post-secondary institutions, Brock University and Niagara College, not only support the region's core industries, they ensure programs and training initiatives are closely aligned to produce employment-ready talent. Today, we invite you to learn more about our growing life sciences sector, which includes companies operating in biopharmaceuticals, agriculture, agri-food, cannabis, medical devices, animal health, environmental technologies, and more. For example, Norgine Biotech Corp is an innovative biotech company based in Thorold, committed to providing innovative products and services to the life sciences and pharmaceutical industry. BioLife Pharma is a research-driven, fully integrated pharmaceutical company headquartered in St. Catharines, aimed to be part of the solution to increase access to COVID-19 vaccines in the developing world. We have leading researchers in the respective fields that provide cutting-edge innovative opportunities to make sure Niagara's businesses grow. Some of the incredible partners that provide a steady flow of highly trained and experienced employees that are ready to work include Niagara College's Agriculture and Environmental Innovation Center, which works with private and public sector partners to develop innovative solutions to address today's challenges in precision agriculture, computer programming, sustainable food production, and renewable energies. Niagara College's Canadian Food and Wine Institute's team offers a full suite of services to support industry innovation and commercialization of new products and processes. The CFWI Innovation Center pairs industry partners with faculty, recent graduates, and students with the right expertise and equipment to meet specific needs. Brock University's plant biologists and chemists with biotechnology companies that develop this research into innovative products and services contributing to the growth in Niagara and beyond. As one of Ontario's 17 regional innovation centers, Innovate Niagara helps companies in the region at any stage of growth bring their products to markets through dedicated one-on-one mentorship, market intelligence, specialized workshops and events, and access to our trusted network of industry experts. The bottom line is that our economic development team here at Niagara Region is here to support your business find a home in our region through multiple support pathways. We're a one-stop shop to save you time, money, and resources in getting the information you need to build and expand and be successful here. Today, we're here to showcase one of Niagara's world-class research and collaboration institutes that's driving groundbreaking research in agriculture and horticulture research, as well as fostering innovation across a wide spectrum of industries. The Vineland Research and Innovation Center is changing the way things are grown in Canada and across the globe. And to help demonstrate, I'm going to pass off to Ian Potter, the CEO of Vineland Research Innovation Center. Ian, thanks very much for joining us today and talking about Vineland.
Oh, my pleasure, Eric, and thanks to Niagara Economic Development and the Life Sciences Ontario for this opportunity to talk to the group here, at least the people I can see. I'm not sure how many are hidden in the background here, but I'll just put my slide up. and we can go from there. So, can you just give me a confirmation, Eric, that you can see that, please?
Yes, we can see that.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. Well, as I say, it's my pleasure to be here on this roadshow. I've been at Vineland now just over 2.5 years, which is, you know, a COVID plus a year. I think it's probably the new time reference scale. It's been a pleasure to move to Niagara region from Alberta, actually. So quite a difference for me over the last few years. And Vineland is a gem. And I use that in all the gem words, luster, sparkle, all those sort of things that you can talk about. Vineland is a leading enterprise in horticultural research in the world. Now, just to give you a little, I'm a bit of a history buff, so give you a little bit of history. The government back in the early 1900s, strongly recommended by industry, formed a series of research farms across the province. In 1906, Moses Rittenhouse donated 90 acres, the campus I'm on actually now. If you're familiar with the area, it's on Victoria, just near the lake, to actually drive the tender fruit sector in the province, which the local growers were struggling with at the time. They said, we need help, a lot of growing production efforts, disease, and Vineland was specifically set up to address the tender fruit. The other stations, about a dozen of them, were set up for other things, livestock, other products, field products, that sort of thing. But a whole infrastructure was grown and has been operating ever since. So we're at a 115-year history at the moment, and it's a very proud history of innovation and support to the sector. Now, over the years, it's primarily run as a government a research enterprise, managed in some part by the University of Guelph. But in 2006, there was a request to look at the governance function of Vineland and look at it more results oriented, really helping the industry grow. So we were put under scrutiny, and there was a report called the Renaissance Report that was had a governance function of a lot of what are currently very senior leaders in the community and still around. And in 2007, we were formed as an independent not-for-profit. We have an independent board that managed the place, and I have an executive team and about 100 employees here that cross the horticultural sector, and I'll get into that in a little bit later. These are the programs that we currently offer. Programs are, I wouldn't say they're stuck in time, but they're robust for a period of time. They're not to say that these are the only issues facing the sector, but these are the ones that we've chosen with the support of industry to focus on for the next period of time. And within these high-level areas, automation, biological crop protection, consumer insights, plant responses in the environment, and plant variety development, there's a whole host of projects that go on underneath that. But we cross all these areas. So our teams are looking at vision systems, robotics to help in greenhouses and in field crops to reduce labor or make the system more efficient, more effective. Bugs, biological crop protection, there's always new bugs. Bugs get stronger and we find different techniques to deal with them. Our particular focus is on natural predators, but also working with biopesticides to actually look at a package together that will work. A lot of our work is driven by the consumer though. There's no point in having a product that the consumer doesn't want. So we spend a lot of time and effort understanding what the consumer wants today, but also what we think the consumer will want in 15 years' time. If you're starting off a breeding program, for example, in apples, that's a 15 to 20-year horizon. So we need to have some idea today that the sort of the produce that we'll be having in that 15, 20 year actually still meets the needs of the consumer in that period. So very high end, but it informs all of our programs, both on the input side and on the output side. Plant responses in the environment. Simplistically, this is urban landscaping. It's making sure that we have the right nursery production techniques, the soil science, agronomy, if you like. And a lot of this, COVID's been a classic in large municipal areas, towns and cities. How do you beautify the place? But then how do you make sure those shrubs actually survive, making sure they have good root structure and making sure that they can actually go on forever, or within reason of the life of the plant, but not the fact you're having to dig them up and replace them every year or two. And last but not least, our plant variety development. We've worked on a variety of, no pun intended, variety of crops over the years. But things today, apples, sweet potatoes, roses, tomatoes, and different types of tomatoes are some of our main breeding programs. So we look at the whole cradle to grave of seed production, making sure that it's disease resistance, drought tolerance, yield increases, that sort of thing. Here's a couple of success stories. Radiant sweet potato. We tested different sweet potatoes and we applied them specifically to the Ontario environmental conditions, the climate that we have here. Most crops aren't bred for Ontario and Canadian conditions. So we take varieties from around the world, add our secret sauce of technology, and then adapt them over a period of time, working with the growers locally and the producers to make sure that our particular varieties are strong and vital, have vitality. And the Radiant sweet potato is a good one. You can see here examples as chips. And we believe this is will be the sweet potato that you will see on the shelves in your supermarkets in the near future. Another example is pears. There's lots of pear varieties out there. This particular one that we've highlighted here is the cold snap pear. Beautiful, lovely texture, good color. It's the sort of thing that when you go into the supermarket, you just want to pick up and eat straight away. Don't forget to pay for it though, but it's the sort of thing that really grabs you. And pears are a good opportunity for Canadian growth, due respect to Paul Moyer and the apples. Moving forward though, a lot of our plants have to start off well. If you restrict the ability of the plant to grow in its early stages, you restrict the roots and their ability to grow. So we've designed different potting systems and trays to actually hold these sort of things. So we've worked with a Canadian company, AMA Horticulture, to look at this particular tray, and we call it Root Smart. It's a way to make sure those plugs that you have that you plant and producers plant, depending on the business you're in, it has a good start. The plant is actually able to move forward. Last but not least, our 49th parallel collection, bred in Canada for Canadian hardy conditions. So, we'll survive the winter. Not everything does, but these ones are specifically designed to try and get through the Canadian winters, the -30 type mark. So they've been bred for cold hardiness, low maintenance, and they look beautiful. There's reds, there's yellows, a new yellow one coming out in the near future, and coral type colors. So these are available at your local supermarkets, Costco's, Superstore. There's a list on the 49th Parallel website. So Vineland really looks to the future. We have to. It's how do we help the sector move forward? And that's through our programs, engaging with clients, making sure we have our efficient operations, and making sure we have impact for Canada. It's not just about we're researching for the sake of research. We're actually out there helping economic development in the region here, specifically Niagara, but across to Canada and across the world, where much of our varieties are actually being used in other places. And we have an amazing series of employees, valued employees, about 100 of them, as I said, that love the work they do and are really enthusiastic when they walk into a store and they can see the produce that they've actually bred over the last 10 years sitting there on the shelf. Vineland in the future is growing. We continue to invest in our infrastructure. This is a future casting plan with some of the work in the tree culture, a conference center, a containment level 2 lab, making sure our infrastructure that we hold on behalf of the province through agricultural and food and rural affairs, making sure that it's robust and it's well managed. We believe that the region is supported by this infrastructure. We have amazing support from Niagara Economic Development and the town of Lincoln. I would thank you all to the local municipalities in the region, Regional Chair Jim Bradley, for the support they give us. The secret sauce, though, is not just about Vineland, it's about collaboration. Working with the cradle to grave on seeds, universities, companies like Cleanworks and Paul's family goes back in apples, I think, a couple of 100 years. It's those local people and building networks across the country and internationally that really make our work worthwhile. And forming these groups, collaboration is not easy. It's tough, it's a tough slog, but it's the thing that will give you the most benefit. So I believe that Niagara is Canada's life sciences region. I'm sorry for the rest of the regions that are going to be highlighted this week, but we live and die life sciences here. We have an amazing variety of crops, but it's also driven by the science. Norgen was mentioned earlier. You're going to hear from Mike and Paul in a minute. But we are the food area for capital. We are the plant area, the garden city, St. Catharines, please come and visit us. It's a lovely time of the year to come visit. And with that, I will thank you very much. It's now my pleasure. I'll turn the mic across to Mike Poller, who is the head of genomic services for Platform Genetics, which is another Niagara startup that is making strides across the world in supporting seed development for the betterment of society. Mike?
Thank you very much, Ian, and thanks for the opportunity to speak this morning. Really happy to present an emerging success called Platform Genetics. And Ian, I'll have to ask you to advance the slides, but Platform Genetics, we provide state-of-the-art genomics and biochemistry services to help seed companies accelerate high-value trait development. So we are a B2B service company. We were founded about 4 years ago as an independent company, but still co-located with the Vineland Research and Innovation Center. And we were set up as the sole licensee and commercialization vehicle for a particular technology out of Vineland, but I'll show you how we've built around that technology into a client-focused company. And you can check out our website at platformgeneticsca.ca if you'd like to learn more. Next, please. So we envision Platform Genetics as a recognized leader in providing trait development and genomic services to plant breeders around the world. And really, we're on a mission to make plant breeding programs more efficient and effective, thereby decreasing time to market for our clients' new innovative plant varieties. Next, please. So in this era of designer crops, really what we offer is a platform to unlock unlimited genetic variation on demand. So what this enables for our clients, it enables the development of new traits for any crop that they want to work in. So whether that's a grower producer benefiting trait like disease resistance or stress tolerance, or if it's something that benefits the end consumer, something like flavor or shelf life. But really it comes down to genetic variation. Next, please. And the secret here is a technology out of Vineland called deep variant scanning. This is patented in Canada, the US, and in Europe. And really sparing the technical details, it's a set of methods that allows for rare genetic variant detection in very large populations of plants. Next, please. We've sort of surrounded this by a full suite of an entire toolkit really for molecular breeding. So harnessing all of our scientific know-how into making plant breeding more efficient for our clients and really embracing their innovation goals as our own. Next, please. And so what we do is it extends beyond the lab, and really we string together end-to-end services, tapping into deep expertise in plant breeding and biology. I think this is really appropriate because it also taps into Niagara's horticultural heritage and leverages the world-class greenhouse and farm facilities at Vineland Research and Innovation Center. Next, please. So just sharing a little bit of the performance and growth story as we sort of are midway through a strategic plan to turn the company into a client-focused, sustainable, and innovative company. We've developed a clientele that spans Canada, United States, Europe, into the Middle East and Africa. We count more than half or around half of the world's top 15 seed companies as our clients. And really a big part of this success is that more than 80% of our revenue is from foreign sources. So we're really developing it into an export success story. And again, it's a global success. So as we continue to grow, we get wonderful feedback from our clients, a very high level of client satisfaction. We're creating and supporting jobs locally in the Niagara region. And part of the future looking piece is developing new technologies, new product service offerings to power our future success and growth.
Thank you very much, Mike. Good to hear. My next speaker, and I'm just going to navigate the system here. I'm going to shut down my share, Paul, and I'm going to ask Denise to highlight. Actually, Denise has got the control. So Denise has control now. Paul, over to you.
Hi, it's Paul Moyer. Thank you for inviting me to this, exciting time. A little about myself. I'm a fruit farmer from the Niagara Peninsula. My family's been here since 1799, so this is our 222nd year living and growing in Niagara. We run a fruit farm in Vineland. My brother runs the farm. I do a lot of the selling, and off that farm we got into value-added products. One of the products that we do is a caramel apple. We do caramel apples and gourmet apples, of which we are now in over 10,000 stores across Canada and the United States. So we're pretty excited about that. That is based in the town of Beamsville. We just moved into a new 50,000 square foot facility here, and we consciously did that, because it's home, but it's not just home for me, but it feels like home for the people that live here, and it's a great area. People that have been working for us, or full-time staff, are actually moving from Niagara, from out into Niagara from outside of the area. And they like it because the climate, we have an abundant labor force, we have a great transportation hub, and there's a sense of community that is both very safe and it's full of abundance. So that's one of the reasons we have decided to not move into the United States or elsewhere in Canada, but stay right here. In 2015, there was a listeria outbreak in the caramel apple industry, and when that happened, we decided to come up with a technology with the help of VRIC and the University of Guelph and the local teams around here. We developed a system that sanitizes the caramel the apples and the caramel apples. Once we realized it worked well for that, we started to test other produce, and we created a company called CleanWorks in 2017, 2018. So we're 4.5 years old currently. Since then, we've gained a lot of traction. We've opened up a 25,000 square foot facility in St. Catharines, just down the road. So once again, we decided to remain local, and we work with a number of produce companies. We work with Sunkist, Sunmade, Tyson Foods with chicken. In the grocery department, we work with Sobeys, Kroger, Wegmans, some of our customers in the Apple business, but they've all accepted and now endorse our technology, which is a technology where we combine ultraviolet light mixed with ozone, mixed with hydrogen peroxide vapor. When we mix those three things, we create a very powerful hydroxy radical, and that breaks down to water and oxygen. But the nice thing about that is it not only works on produce, but we've been approved by Health Canada, and we're the only company, a Canadian company, that was approved to sanitize PPE, including N95 masks, face shields, and goggles. In fact, we're the only company that is able to do the face shields and the goggles. With that, we won the Ontario Centers of Excellence Award, the Mind to Market Award, as well as we won the International Association of Food Protection Award in the world. So we won that. So it's very, very interesting technology that was born out of a business that was here locally, and we're very excited to take that technology and work with both nationally as well as in North America. In fact, I just got back yesterday from California, where I either presented or installed our process into 18 other facilities. As well as we have units not just here, but internationally. We've got units in Japan, in Colombia now, and into the EU, where we've got units in Italy as well as Scotland, not just in the produce industry, but in the seafood industry and the protein industry as well. That's some of the things that we've tested there. We literally can sanitize apples to zucchinis in the produce world, and now we're working with proteins and so on. And we're also now looking to get into the transportation end of things, where we can sanitize trucks and sea containers. We all know that that's a very growing business now with all of the travel and so on restrictions and sanitize things. And we're also now working to develop some systems potentially with Vineland that we can use this practice and this technology to sanitize fruit right in the fields, strawberries and grapes and that sort of thing. That's sort of where we're able to look for some opportunities in the future. But we really believe in Niagara, and we're super happy to be able to be growing here in leaps and bounds. So that's some of the companies, that's some of the hospitals on the left. We're in over 100 hospitals or EMS units in Canada, and we work with some really great retailers as well as large produce companies, HMC Farms, Sunkist. We do Mission Produce with the avocados. I visited them yesterday, as well as some of the major retailers across the country. We work very closely with Kroger, the second largest retailer. We work with Walmart, the largest retailer in the United States, as well as with Wegmans, Sobeys. We do we work with Publix, both in the caramel apple industry, as well as with the technology, and so on. So that's, gives you a kind of a picture of what we do. We have large units. Our largest unit can produce about 75 tractor trailer loads of product a day. We have a unit out in California that does 75 tractor trailer loads of lemons every day, right down to the small units that you see on the left that sanitize N95 masks, both in the healthcare field as well as in the research field. And the unit in the middle is a unit we just developed for Sobeys. We're getting a lot of interest in that unit. That unit there will sanitize the shopping bags, your shopping bags that are reusable. So a lot of people have a difficulty to clean that. We actually had a large meeting with Sobeys yesterday, as well as again tomorrow, to take this technology and potentially put it in all of their over 1,000 stores across the country. And with that technology, we're getting interest from Walmart and so on. Once again, being here in Niagara, I don't think there's another place I'd rather be. We have abundant workforce. We really like being here. The weather, the transportation, and the ability to run a successful business. And, that's a picture of where we won the International Association of Food Protection's top award for food safety, the Ontario Centers of Excellence Award, Mind to Market Award. We're very excited to be recognized for what we're doing. And frankly, I wouldn't do it anywhere else. So, well, thank you very much for your time. And if there's any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch with us, and we can help with any sort of questions that you have on that.
Thank you, Paul. I'd like to just wrap things up. I see we're a little bit over time. We did have one question, so I'll put it out to the panelists and let someone take that, but I'd ask you to please be brief as we try to wrap up here. The question was really around, I think, mostly directed about GMOs in terms of, what can we do to educate the public on the value of what's happening, in particular at Vineland, and not be fearful of plant science and technology. It's a big question, but I'm sure Ian and others probably have some thoughts around that.
I've got lots of thoughts, but Mike is the expert in the sort of genetics here. So Mike, I know you've got a broad experience in this, so can you have a go at trying to address that?
Yeah, I think the key for, when you think about GMO crops or the sort of new generation of gene edited crops, which are typically actually not considered GMO by a lot of regulatory regimes. The key is kind of putting the focus on the end consumer, and I think it's really about communication of consumer benefits. I think this was something that was lacking in sort of the earlier generations of of GM crops. So looking forward, transparently communicating both the benefits and risks where they do occur to the end consumer, I think is the key.
Thanks, Mike. And just a quick thank you to all of our speakers, Eric, Ian, Mike, Paul. Fantastic job today. Thank you so much for telling us about the Niagara region. It makes me definitely want to drive down the QE and spend a day or more in your neck of the woods. So I definitely have to put that on my things to do list for sure. Just a couple quick announcements. Brian, I don't know if you can pull up our upcoming events. So really quickly, our awards presentation is happening on October 14th. Registration's open, so please check that out. And our road trip will continue around the province. We'll be stopping in Sarnia tomorrow. So again, please join us for that. And finally, a thank you to our sponsors, our platinum sponsors listed here, our gold sponsors, and of course, our silver sponsors as well. Please stick around on the FeedLoop platform, visit our exhibitors, where, as I said, you'll be entered into a draw if you request information from our visitors. The prize is a $250 gift certificate. So please visit the exhibitor booths and take advantage of the virtual networking also available on the FeedLoop platform. Thank you all, and looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Stay safe, everyone.